Nationwide, protests against lockdown policies are continuing to spread across the U.S., especially in states like Michigan, California. Just breaking moments ago, Democratic governor who did a terrible job in Michigan, Whitmer, extending the state of emergency order until May 28th. Out in California, new order from Gavin Newsom is closing beaches in the state, prompting a strong backlash there.
Several hundred protesters on and around Huntington Beach said the governor was overreaching, and the Huntington Beach City Council plans to file an injunction arguing that the governor's order is unconstitutional. Newsom says he is basing his decision on science and data, but he has not provided science or data showing the beaches are contributing to COVID-19 outbreaks.
We have been back open on beaches because what you find, if you look at the science and you look at the data, there's very little transmission in large open air areas.
Yesterday, Governor Gavin Newsom closed 43 miles of Orange County beaches, not because of data, but because of politics. And how do I know that? Because here's the data. Orange County has 3.2 million people who live here. It's bigger than 22 states, bigger than states like Nevada, Mississippi, Iowa. And of all of those people, we've lost 50 people to this virus. That's 0.001% of our population. In our local hospital, we have 475 beds. They have never treated more than 25 people at any given time. And yesterday, they had 9 people that they were treating, and only 1% of their ventilators were being used.
You may have seen this tape already. If not, you've likely seen many more like it in the past few weeks. 2 armed officers arrive at a family's home in Wisconsin. Someone has reported the mother to police for arranging a play date for her daughter. That's now a crime. Here's what happened next.
Are you aware that we're in a stay-at-home order right now?
Yeah, obviously.
By the government?
Yes, I am aware.
Okay, you're aware of that?
I am aware.
So I don't need to explain that to you?
Why are you here?
Because your daughter is going to play at other people's home and you're allowing it to happen. Stop having your kid go by other people's home.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Your middle initial and your last name.
I'm not giving it to you. I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. Perfect. We got it.
Yeah,
okay.
And that'll be documented too, that you're uncooperative.
You were uncooperative. That will be documented. Notice the tone they strike with this mother. They are standing on her property, uninvited, hectoring her about the so-called crime of allowing her daughter to play outside the house. They're not apologizing for this. They're not embarrassed to be carrying out an order that has no basis in science. They are utterly self-confident. They treat her with pure contempt like a peasant. And later, the Calumet County Sheriff's Department posted an account of what happened on their Facebook page. In it, they refer to that mother's mobile home 6 times. Just, she lives in a mobile home. Oh, just a prole, just a peasant. Shut up and obey. Who cares what she thinks? They believe they have the right to do that. The question is, where exactly do they get that right? That's a good question. It's a question that we are strongly discouraged from asking. The short answer is governors told them they could. Never in American history have politicians been more powerful than they are now. Effectively, they are gods.
The state law allows any governor to do just about whatever he wants.
In the state of Maine, for example, Governor Janet Mills now has the power to suspend any law she doesn't like. She can seize any state resource she feels like seizing. She can force any citizen or all citizens from their home. She can do all of this for as long as she wants, as long as she believes Maine is in a state of emergency. In fact, there's virtually nothing that Janet Mills can't now do. Many governors now have these powers.
People who are out exercising on the Beltline shouldn't be alarmed if an officer comes up to you and questions you.
San Jose police are quickly responding to violent crimes such as this assault case this afternoon, and now they promise to just as readily respond to violations of the shelter-in-place orders.
Those of you that know me, we're not going to stay educational for long.
Police Chief Eddie Garcia read from a list of 56 non-essential businesses his officers found that have stayed open in violation of health department orders to shut down.
2 clothing stores, 9 hair salons, 6 barber shops, 8 smoke shops, 2 flower shops, 3 gyms, 1 sporting goods store, 1 video game store, 1 billiards hall, 1 gun store, 1 recycling center, 1 furniture store, 1 flea market, and 1 car wash.
And so tonight, state police and Chicago police, along with local law enforcement across the state, preparing to enforce the order.
The other day, prosecutors in New Jersey charged 9 people for daring to participate in a Jewish wedding in their backyard.
San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo urged neighbors to turn in violators to 311.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot about to hold a news conference to tell us that police will enforce on this warm Saturday the stay-at-home order. Let's listen in.
Now, I've directed Superintendent Brown to order all police districts to give special attention to these parties. And this is how it's going to be. We will shut you down, we will cite you, and if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail. Period. The time for educating people into compliance is over. Don't be stupid. Don't come out. Don't advertise on social media. We're watching you.
Lori Lightfoot believes she has the power to imprison you if you talk about your weekend plans on Facebook. How did she get the power to do that? Well, that's still not clear. What is clear is that Lightfoot has no intention of following her own rules, living by her own restrictions. We know that because Lori Lightfoot recently broke her own quarantine in order to, and this is real, get her hair done. She got caught when her hairdresser blabbed about it on social media, but perhaps not surprisingly, she didn't seem ashamed in the slightest. Unlike you, she explained, Lori Lightfoot has to look good.
I'm the public face of this city. I'm on national media and I'm out in the public eye. And, you know, I'm a person who, I take my personal hygiene very seriously. As I said, I felt like I needed to have a haircut. I'm not able to do that myself, and so I got a haircut.
For 250 years, Americans have enjoyed the unfettered right to practice their faith as they choose. Now they don't. It happened overnight. Last month, Christians across the country were legally prohibited from celebrating Easter in their own churches. The national media barely noted it. Politicians have no right to do any of this. They cannot make it illegal for people to go to religious services. The Constitution of the United States expressly prohibits that. The words could not be clearer. The First Amendment explicitly prevents government from making any law that inhibits the exercise of religious faith. That's not a detail or a footnote. It is a cornerstone of our history and of our legal system. Millions of people, probably your ancestors, fled to this country from around the world precisely because our Bill of Rights gave them this guarantee. It's why this country was founded. And in a moment, it's gone. How? Where did politicians get the authority to do this? Because some elderly, power-drunk epidemiologist told them to do it? That's not how our system works. It can't work that way. It would be very useful in moments like this to have an independent media. News organizations exist to hold the powerful to account. Here we have the powerful acting with no accountability at all. And our news media, they are cheering it on, besotted fangirls. No abuse is too grotesque for them. No talking point is too stupid to repeat. Reporters will do whatever they are told. They are all in. MSNBC recently sent a camera crew to document one of the latest and most Orwellian developments in America's descent into Chinese-style social control, barking drones that harangue citizens from the air. MSNBC was delighted by it.
Please move away from each other and separate. Elizabeth, New Jersey is now using drones to spread the life-saving message. You are not immune to this virus. The drones make it easier for police to see into certain areas where access by patrol cars is more difficult. That includes tight spaces between buildings, behind schools, and in backyards.
Move away from each other, commands the state of New Jersey. Break it up! Your God-given right to free assembly has been suspended indefinitely. Back inside, proles, or you will face the consequences. What's happening now is unprecedented, it's dangerous, and it's completely and unequivocally unconstitutional. It violates the letter and the intent of the Bill of Rights on many levels. And someday soon we will deeply regret letting all of this happen.
The constitutional guarantees free speech, free press, the right to assemble, the right to worship, are only as good as the human beings in whose hands we have reposed the Constitution for safekeeping.
That's right.
And the governors that you have referred to in Maine, in New Jersey, in Illinois, in California, have no regard for the Constitution, because they have public sentiment behind them, because they've scared the daylight out of the public, and very few people, unlike the mayor, God bless him, he's willing to do this, are willing to stand up and say, enough.
If only we had someone now to protect us as our rights disappear. Oh, wait, we do. The ACLU. For more than 100 years, the American Civil Liberties Union fought for the civil rights of the powerless, which at this stage means you're the powerless. So where's the ACLU today? Well, they're playing along with the authorities. They're sucking up to power. They're joining CNN and telling you to shut up and obey. Then may I ask a question? If our politicians have no regard for the Bill of Rights, upon which the country is founded, of course, then why should the rest of us have any regard for their orders? I mean, it's not their country. They don't own it. It's our country. So why are we obeying them if they're contravening our Bill of Rights?
We have no obligation to obey them. Governors don't write the law and don't assess punishments. Only legislatures do. Every single one of the 50 governors in this state, in this country, has written new laws and assessed new punishment utterly and totally without authority to do so. Even if the state legislatures of the states of which they're the governors had authorized them to do it, that legislation would be invalid because, as you have pointed out, it directly contravenes guarantees in the Bill of Rights. And every one of those governors, when they became governor, took an oath not only to their state law and their state constitutions, but to the federal constitution as well, which includes the Bill of Rights.
Now that we've ceded all authority in the country to our political leaders, what can't they do? What are the limits to their power? That's not a theoretical question. It's not an argument over philosophy or political theory. It is the most practical possible question. The answer will define where this country goes next. What can't politicians do in the name of public health? As it stands, politicians won't let people worship or work or go to school or see their aging parents. They've placed the nation under house arrest. That's happening today, right now. But let's say we all get more afraid. What then? What couldn't they start doing? Could they intern people? Seriously. You can dismiss the possibility of that if you like, but remember that just a few months ago, most of us would have dismissed as ludicrous the possibility that propaganda-spewing drones would be hovering above. Now we have them. So what's next? What can't they do?